Welcome to the English with Friends podcast.
My name is Matt.
And I'm Sophie. We're so glad you could join us for episode 4.
That's right, Sophie. And today we're talking about something I think everyone loves to dream about: planning a trip.
Ooh, I love this topic. Whether it's a small weekend getaway or a huge international adventure, planning is the first step. And it's a great way to practice your English.
Exactly. You'll need to read websites, talk to people, and make reservations, all of which use important vocabulary. So, where do we start?
Well, the first part is the most fun, dreaming and deciding. You need to choose your destination. A destination is the place you are going to.
Right. So, Sophie, if you could go anywhere in the world right now, what would be your dream destination?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think I'm dreaming of a city break. A city break is a short holiday spent in a city. I've always wanted to explore Tokyo. The food, the culture, the mix of old and new. It seems amazing. What about you?
Tokyo sounds incredible. For me, I think I'd prefer a beach holiday. I'd love to go to Thailand to find a quiet beach and just relax with a good book. No schedules, no stress.
See, that's an important first step, deciding what type of vacation you want. Do you want relaxation or do you want adventure travel like hiking or exploring?
Sometimes people make a wish list or a bucket list of places they want to see before they die. It can be fun to just brainstorm with a friend or partner. You could say things like, "What about visiting Italy?" Or, "I'd rather go somewhere warm."
And it's also about timing. You should consider the peak season, when many people travel, versus the off-season, when it's less crowded and often cheaper. For example, visiting the Caribbean during hurricane season is a gamble, but it will be much cheaper.
That's a great point. So once you've picked your destination, let's say we've agreed on a trip to Spain, what's the next step?
Now comes the less dreamy but very important part: research and budgeting.
Right. You need to figure out how much the trip will cost. This is called creating a budget. A budget is a plan for how you will spend your money.
Exactly. You need to think about the big costs first. The main one is transportation, how you'll get there. Are you booking flights, taking a train, or maybe a rental car?
And flight prices can change a lot. A good tip is to look for flights on a Tuesday or Wednesday, as they are often cheaper. Also, try to be flexible with your date.
That's a great tip. The second big cost is accommodation, which means a place to stay.
You have lots of options here. You can stay in a hotel, which offers more services, or a hostel, which is cheaper and more social. Or you could rent an apartment or room through a service like Airbnb.
I think reading the reviews is so important. Reviews are comments from people who have stayed there before. It can save you from a really bad experience.
Oh, definitely. I once booked a hotel that looked beautiful in the photos, but I didn't read the reviews. It was so noisy and far from everything. A total disaster.
Oh no. So after flights and accommodation, you also have to budget for food, activities, and souvenirs. It's a good idea to set aside some money for each category. For example, let's set aside $50 a day for food.
That makes sense. And once you have your budget, the most important thing is to stick to it. Don't overspend.
Easier said than done sometimes. Okay, so we've got our destination, we've got our budget. Now it's time for the action part, booking and planning your itinerary. Yes, an itinerary is a detailed plan or schedule of your trip. It lists what you will do each day. So this is when you actually book your flights and make a reservation for your hotel.
Right. When you book something, you will get a confirmation, usually by email. This is to prove that you have paid and your spot is saved. It's very important to keep all your confirmations together.
For sure. Now, when it comes to the itinerary, I think people are very different. I'm a planner. I love to schedule everything. Monday morning, visit the museum. Monday afternoon, walking tour. I have it all mapped out.
Wow, you are organized. I'm the opposite. I prefer to be more spontaneous. I like to have a general idea of the sightseeing I want to do, visiting the famous places, but I like to leave a lot of room for just wandering around and discovering things.
That's fair. I think a good trip has a balance of both. You can book a few key activities or excursions in advance. An excursion is a short trip, usually for a day, to see something special, like a tour to a nearby historical site.
Exactly. Especially for very popular attractions, it's often cheaper and easier to book your tickets online in advance, which means before you go. You can avoid waiting in long lines that way.
A very good tip. Nothing worse than spending your vacation waiting in a line. So let's say our flights and hotel are booked and we have a rough itinerary. The trip is getting closer. What's next?
The final preparations. This usually happens in the week before you leave, and it starts with everyone's favorite activity, packing.
I can hear the sarcasm in your voice, Matt. I actually don't mind packing. The first thing I always do is check the weather forecast for my destination. That tells me what kind of clothes to bring.
That's smart. Then you need to get your suitcase or backpack. If you're flying, pay attention to the airline's rules for luggage. You usually have a larger checked bag and a smaller carry-on bag that you take on the plane with you.
Right. I always make a packing list so I don't forget any essentials. Essentials are the most important things you need. For me, that includes my phone charger, a good book, and sunscreen.
Don't forget your toiletries. That's a word for things like your toothbrush, toothpaste, and soap. A good packing tip is to roll your clothes instead of folding them. You can often fit more in your suitcase that way.
I do that too. It really works. Okay, besides packing clothes, what are some of the most important final checks?
This is crucial. You must check your travel documents. This includes your passport, and if you need one, a visa, which is official permission to enter a country. Make sure your passport is not expired.
Oh, that would be a nightmare. It's a good idea to make copies of your important documents or save a picture of them on your phone just in case.
Definitely. Another thing is money. It's good to have some local currency or cash for when you arrive. You might also want to tell your bank that you'll be traveling so they don't block your credit card.
That's happened to me before. It's not fun. And finally, I always recommend getting travel insurance. It protects you if something goes wrong, like if you get sick or your luggage is lost.
Better safe than sorry, right? And with that, you are ready to go. Your bags are packed, your documents are in order, and your adventure awaits.
Wow, that was a lot of information, but so useful. Let's do a quick recap of some of the key vocabulary we talked about.
Great idea. We started with your destination, which is the place you're going.
Then we talked about setting a budget, which is your plan for spending money.
Next was booking accommodation, your place to stay, and transportation, how you'll get there.
After that, you plan your itinerary, which is your schedule of activities and sightseeing.
And finally, you pack your suitcase and check your travel documents like your passport.
Perfect. We hope this has been helpful for all of you future travelers out there. Planning a trip is a fantastic way to use your English in a real-world situation.
It really is. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for listening to English with Friends.
Join us next time when we'll be talking about another fun topic. Until then, happy learning.
Bye, everyone.